Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's game of Flesh and Blood. We've got Kayo versus Kano, two lower health Blitz opponents. So it should be good fun and fast paced to try and get through those low health totals. You do see I on the Kayo got one dice roll. I have opted to go first. It is an interesting predicament against Kano I've always found. Getting the turn 1 dominate hit off on KO is absolutely insane, chipping away that early health. However, it does also allow for the Kano to set up on the other turn. I do opt to go for the pulping to start off the play. I pitch off the blue-red swing because my hand was 2 reds, so it was a guaranteed hit either way, and I felt that that was a risk I was willing to take off the draw on pulping. I very luckily do get a 6 pulled off. I believe it is the yellow Smash Instinct. Yep, there it is. Perfect. So I've now got a dominated attack. We are now going to roll for the KO hits. And a little bit of spoiler, my rolls this game were a little nutty. We hit the 5, we get off the 12 damage dominate, turn 1 with the go again against the Kano. That's a lot of pressure being put through on turn 1 for any deck, let alone somebody starting on 15 health. It's really quite difficult to sort of come back from that situation. So Kano does choose to respond with a free block. He blocks with the Aether Flare. Not overly impactful on turn 1 without much setup following up, so I feel that's a pretty good block on his part. However, it does also allow him to either choose to follow up now with the Instance Presence. He chooses not to. He chooses to see what I come through with next, which is the Savage Swing. And I don't hit this one, unfortunately, so just the raw 3 damage coming through, no dominate or anything else to end off my turn. Now, playing against a Kano is always going to have mind games involved. They can come back from absolutely nothing and just blow you up. Your health bar is no more. So during this time, with the amount of time my opponent was sitting there thinking about his turn, made me wonder how much I'm going to regret playing all 4 cards in my hand. However, wasn't too bad in the end. He does choose to Kano to start with, just to sort of scout out what was on the top of his deck. He does end up finding an energy potion, which can definitely support Kano in pushing through those big turns later on, especially without the action points required for Robo Rapture as well. He does choose to put the energy potion into play, as I would expect anybody would in that situation. So just representing 3 extra damage from that Savage Swing in the end isn't overly impactful. It does allow Kano to scout ahead, opt the top card of his deck through the Blue Cindering Foresight, in which he does opt to keep it on top. We close that action, and he does just block with the blue snapback to close off the turn. Watching back on the game, pitching the yellow to come in for 5 with the club due to the discard on pulping was probably the more consistent play, which would have also allowed me to set up the tail limb from limb in Arsenal for my next turn. But I have a feeling I was probably riding on the high of rolling the 5, and dopamine got the better of careful planning. Also, bigger number means better player, so rolling is always the best option on KO. As I'm sure you all know at this point, Kano requires a fair bit of foresight and planning to get the most out of the deck. So whilst that's taking place on screen, let me sort of quickly explain what I plan to do with this channel. So the objective is to provide gameplay and conversation aimed at slightly more casual players, as I don't think anybody really wants competitive advice from 65th place at the UK Nationals. It'll be more gameplay of different decks. I'd like to look at commoner format and stupid challenges like Red Oldham versus Red Bravo, things like that and along those lines. As you can see and hear, I do have intentions to improve both video and audio for the channel, and along the way, hopefully I will learn to edit properly and put out some content which might be interesting for you lot. So we have got a red Voltic Bolt coming through from the Kano. pitching that yellow lightning strike. I've opted just to take the damage with such a high health lead leading into this turn. I had pretty much already made up my mind that I was happy to take the damage. Followed up with a red snapback, and again, similar sort of concept. I've still got the health lead going into my turn. However, against Kano, again, you've still got to be mindful that they can play cards as an instant on my turn as well. So I've got to make sure I don't get chipped down too low. Otherwise, the odds of him finding an out during my attacks is much, much higher. It was around at this point I realised I was playing Skullcap instead of the Skullhorn, and that was a huge mistake into this matchup. The 2 Arcane Barrier on demand, and usually Nulring Gloves as well, is more than enough to swing this matchup in KO's favour. However, it wasn't on my radar until I took all that damage that I didn't have the option to block it. So to start off my turn, I've decided to play the Blood Rush Bellows pitching blue. Usually, if you're running claws, that is the dream turn, getting that 5 attack with the go again, thanks to the 2 pitch floating. However, obviously, I'm going for the more consistent 7 club swing in this scenario. The 2 extra damage is always nice in Brute, especially if you low roll, because it can still hit some very key breakpoints, especially with Dominate as well. And I've opted to play the Heart and Cross Strap to reduce my attack action by 2, playing that Predatory Assault for free. Dominate has been activated by the Blood Rush Bellow, and I hit the KO roll, coming in for 14 Dominates. So there's only one question on Kano's mind, and that is, can I kill him? I do show a pummel because I got a little bit excited thinking I just won the game. Unfortunately, there is the slight possibility that I might be in a little bit of trouble here. And spoilers, I almost was. If I had low rolled that turn for only the 7 damage including the pummel, and after blocking and discarding, the Kano would still have had 2 blues in hand for 6 pitch. He could pass and draw the red Stir of the Aether and red Forked Lightning, which he has scouted on top of his deck using the lens. Then on my turn, as an instant, he could pop E-Potion to activate Storm Striders, pitch 3 for the Stir and the weapon, followed by another 3 for the Forked Lightning and Metacarpus Node for a grand total of 14 damage, which I would not have been able to have blocked as I was on higher health. But unfortunately for our wizard friend, he was staring down the face of 14 dominated damage. I would like to thank everybody for watching this game. Please stay tuned for more content, and hopefully I put out something which isn't quite as rough around the edges, and I hope everyone has a lovely day. Thank you for watching.